at odds. Now, I sometimes wonder, can stories have meaning if you don't get them young enough? We were talking about this a little bit at dinner. Years ago, I was invited into an inner city school in downtown Albany, which is code meaning mostly black kids. All the boys were playing hooky that day in English. Of the girl students, about a third of them were pregnant. I began to tell them a fairy tale. Almost all at once I noticed that the girls were spellbound. For them, Hansel and Gretel had all the nerve and verve and shock of the latest tabloid headline. Deprived in more ways than one, these kids couldn't predict what was going to happen. They didn't know a once upon a time presumes a happily ever after. Not in this class. They were poor primarily in this way. They had been deprived of the convention of the tales. So, we give our children stories to give them, among other things, a concept of shapeliness, of cause and effect, of complication and resolution. That way, when the time comes that they have to say, oh, Christ, they may also know that there's a denouement available in just a little while. They just have to hang in there. Hang on, kid. There's no shortage of grief in this world to recover from. Let's face it. We need all the tools we can grasp, the languages at hand. Despite my good Catholic education, frankly, I was rather lackadaisical as a student. I wasn't very good at languages, for one thing. My streetwise friend, Iris, once told me that when she was in vocational training school and a smart-ass Ivy League college guy once came on to her at the party, saying smarmily, "Oh, what languages do you speak?" She replied, 2, English and bullshit. I'm far too polite to say that. But I do appreciate the vigor of the writing of that line. I would say that I speak 2 languages, English and narrative. And I suppose I'm teaching both languages to my children. My middle child, Alex, is 5. He's the one with a flattened head due to having been left in a cradle in Southeast Asia for 8 months, with too little picking up, too little holding. He's a cipher, like most kids, and he carries his own storms within him, and he hums the tunes of paradise when the mood strikes. One day, Alex was stricken with some conundrum of the human experience. Maybe we'd run out of Cheerios or something. And he screamed and shouted. I held him tight, and I tried to console him, and I sat down in a soft chair, but he fought against me. He beat me with his fists.